Nobody wants to jeopardize the safety of fellow employees or suffer the embarrassment of inadvertently deploying an off-wing escape slide. Still, accidents do occur. In the first 6 months of 1987, there were 4 accidental 767 escape slide deployments. Involved mechanics possibly attempted shortcuts, didn't follow the maintenance manual deactivation procedures, or disabled the system only to have it rearmed by somebody else. Slide deactivation should be a positive thing, not a gamble. You must perform every step of the procedure. The purpose of this program is to demonstrate the proper disarming and arming procedures for the 767 off-wing escape slide, and the procedures to properly open and close the slide door. These procedures are covered in detail in the 767 Maintenance Manual, Section 2565-00. In this program, we'll demonstrate the procedures on the left side of the aircraft. But you must understand, these procedures have to be performed on both sides of the aircraft in the same manner to disarm the system. This is because each side can fire the opposite side. Following each step of these instructions will help make sure that an accidental deployment doesn't occur during routine maintenance, and that the slide doors do not open in flight. The first step in the disarming process is to disconnect the cannon plug from the slide deployment battery packs on both sides of the aircraft. The battery packs are located 1 row aft of the overwing hatch. Access to the battery packs is gained by removing the air vent grill. The cannon plugs are identified by their yellow tags. With the batteries on both sides disconnected, the slides can no longer be activated from inside the aircraft. But the system is still not completely deactivated. Next, pull the disable handle down to the safe position. The handle is located behind the exit sign above the overwing hatches. Make sure the disable handle forces both switches to the down position. Make sure you pull the disable handles on both sides of the aircraft. Pulling just one handle will not disarm the system, and it will increase the likelihood of an accidental deployment when someone rearms the slides. The next step is to safety the inflator bottle. Move to the main gear wheel well. The slide inflator bottle access panel is located just aft of the wheel well on the outer curve of the lower fuselage. Inside, you'll find the inflator bottle and a pouch. Remove the safety pin and streamer from the pouch. Next, open the small access panel stenciled slide actuator pressure gauge located on the aft bulkhead of the main gear well. Install the safety pin in the pressure head of the inflator bottle. Installing the safety pin ensures that the slide cannot be inflated even if the system is accidentally actuated. The next step is to deactivate the spoiler override actuator located in the flap well on the forward center of the inboard spoiler. This actuator slams the spoiler down in case of an emergency deployment so it won't interfere with the inflating slide. Remove the cannon plug from the actuator and install the shorting plug that you will find in the pouch in the inflation bottle compartment. This ensures that the actuator squib cannot be accidentally fired and injure a mechanic with the spoiler. Finally, you'll disarm the latch opening actuators on both sides of the aircraft. On the side of the fuselage, just above the wing trailing edges, are 2 access panels. Open the aft panel. Behind this panel is the latch opening actuator and another pouch. Disconnect the cannon plug from the latch opening actuator and replace it with the shorting plug you'll find in the pouch. This ensures that the actuator squib cannot be fired accidentally. This completes the disarming of the emergency off-wing evacuation slide. Before doing any maintenance on the slide system, make sure you've completed every step of the disarming procedure on both sides of the aircraft. With the system disarmed, you can safely open the slide door to perform maintenance checks on the slide. First, pad the upper wing surface in preparation for opening the slide door. Next, open the forward panel to access the door opening actuator and the integrator mechanism. You must lock the integrator in the safety position before opening the slide door. Pull the T-handle past the detent to the unlock position. Use a 1/4-inch drive bar and rotate the integrator cam full aft to open the slide compartment door latches. Now, pull the T-handle to the full out safety position. This further ensures that the stop block and inflation cable trigger will be moved away and won't be accidentally engaged during maintenance. Now, you can open the slide access door. Always visually check as you open the door to make sure the stop block has been fully retracted. Be sure to support the door as you open it. It is heavy and could damage the wing or the door if it falls. Remove the safety pins from the pouch in the aft access hatch. Install them in the door opening actuators to make sure that they cannot be fired. To properly close the door, pull the door opening actuator safety pins and stow them in the pouch located in the aft access opening. Push the door to the closed position. To lock the slide door, push the integrator T-handle one step to the unlocked position. Using a 1/4-inch drive bar, rotate the locking mechanism on the integrator to the closed position to latch the door. Then, push the T-handle in to the locked position. Close and lock the access panel. Rearming the system is the reverse procedure from disarming. First, remove the shorting plug from the latch opening actuator and stow it in the adjacent pouch. Reconnect the cannon plug and close the access panel. Next, go to the spoiler override actuator and remove the shorting plug from the actuator squib. Reconnect the cannon plug. Stow the shorting plug in the pouch in the inflation bottle compartment. Remove the safety pin and streamer from the inflator bottle. Close the access panel. Stow the pin in the pouch. Back inside the aircraft, there is an extra step when rearming the system. Behind the exit sign panel and aft of the disarming handle are two backup switches used to manually deploy the slide. Physically check the backup switches to be sure they are still in the up position. If they are not, the slide will blow when power is reapplied, even if the disable handle is in the safe position. Return the disable handle to the up and armed position. Be sure that the two switches stay down in the armed position, and that the straight pin is under the switches. Make sure the pin does not contact or exert any pressure on the switches when they are in the down and armed position. Once the disable handle has been set, never reopen the hatch door. Opening the hatch even a little to reset it will set the switches to fire, and the slide will blow as soon as the batteries are connected. If you must reopen the hatch, set the disable handle to safe first. Then reset the door. Physically check the backup switches again, and then raise the disable handle. With the backup switches up and the disable handle armed, you may close the exit sign panels. The last thing you'll do to arm the system is reconnect the battery pack cannon plugs. Make sure both sides of the aircraft are properly prepared before you install either cannon plug. Installing the cannon plug on your side while the mechanic on the other side is still checking switches can lead to disaster. When the system is rearmed, reinstall the air vent grills. Finally, you'll go to the cockpit. Check the overhead panel to be sure the emergency doors warning indicator light is not illuminated. Check ICAS to make sure no slide or emergency doors messages appear. Then, perform the squib test. On the P61 squib test panel, depress the number 1 test switch. Verify that both the left and right emergency escape green lights illuminate. This tests the right and left slide squibs. Then, press the number 2 test switch on the panel and verify that the left and right emergency escape green lights illuminate. This tests the spoiler squibs. If any of these lights fail to illuminate, first check to see that the emergency escape breakers are pushed in. Then, check the system cannon plugs to see that they are properly connected. The successful performance of the squib test completes the off-wing emergency slide arming procedures. In this program, you have seen the proper disarming and arming procedures for the 767 off-wing escape slide. It is important to remember that both sides of the aircraft must be completely disarmed before attempting to perform maintenance on either escape hatch or slide. Always disconnect the batteries as the first step in the disarming process. When rearming the system, physically check the backup switches over both escape hatches to be sure that they are still in the up position. Always ensure that both systems on the aircraft are completely and properly reset before reconnecting either battery. By following these procedures carefully, you not only help to assure the safety of our passengers and crew, but you also help to prevent the delay and expense of an accidental slide deployment.